All right. Good afternoon. This is David Fry. I'm one of the trustees with the Beechwood Educational Foundation, and we're honored to be joined this afternoon by Brother Jeff Fettig, class of 1979. Many of you know him affectionately by his nickname Boomer. And Boomer is joining us from St. Joe, Michigan, as he's in the final stages of preparing for his annual trip to Scotland with a couple of Zeta Fijis for a golf outing. But one of the things that we wanted to do is touch base with Brother Fettig to ask him two questions. First of all, what are some of the best memories that he has from his time at Zeta Chapter? He was there from 1975 when he pledged after graduating high school in Tipton, Indiana, and graduated with a business degree in finance in 1979, and a few years later picked up his MBA at the IU School of Business as well. So, Brother Fettig, thanks so much for joining us. And if you don't mind, share some of your best memories of your time at Zeta.
Well, thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here. It's hard to summarize these because there were so many, but I would kind of go down a handful of them. First and foremost is just coming together as a pledge class and being new at the house, and we all went through our pledgeship experience. But the memory of that is really about this was all about character, values, and the expectation of success. And that's something the house is well rooted in, and was before we were there, and certainly we embraced that, and it is today. Then there's a number of things like PGI in the days where you build the pool in the old front yard and have the illegal slide out of the second story window, and we did it right on 3rd Street, which of course you can't do that anymore. We had a lot of fun, participating in a lot of intramural activities. One of the things that really attracted me to the fraternity was its focus on athletics and academics, and that kind of carried through to many of the teams that we had. I was fortunate enough to be on the Fiji B team in intramurals, I think my junior year, and went undefeated, won all campus football. And I think we had half the team who also had 4.0s that semester. So
that's fantastic.
It was a good example of kind of the expectations you had in the house. And we had a lot of other fun. We had a pet while I was there. His name was Dick the dog. He's famous in the house, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But and then perhaps lastly, I would say I had the honor and the privilege of being president of the Zeta chapter in 1978 and first half of 1979. So there's many more, but those are things that quickly come to mind. The other thing I would say, our saying of not for college days alone, at least in my era's experience, is absolutely true. I mentioned Dick the dog. We've had a Dick the Dog Memorial Golf Tournament for the last 46 years, where at least 40 of us come together every summer at the end of July in Bloomington. It's kind of our homecoming, if you will. And there, it's everybody from kind of my era 5 years before and 5 years after. And, that's how we've stayed in touch all these years. Kind of an offshoot of that. For the last 20 plus years, I've hosted 16 of us and their spouses at our place in Michigan, and we have kind of a variant of Dick the dog that we call it the big dog. Probably should call it the old dogs now, but we get together every year with our spouses. And in fact, next week I'm going to Scotland, as you mentioned, with 3 other Zeta Fijis. So it truly, for at least in my experiences, has been not for college days alone, and that's really been terrific and very unique when you talk to other folks.
Yeah, very special, very special. And for those of you that don't know, Brother Fettig mentioned intramural football. That was actually the antithesis of his nickname Boomer. Apparently, he let the pledge team coaches know that he played a little football during his days at Tipton, and thought he could punt it fairly well. And his first kick went about 45 yards down the field, and one of the guys noted, "Boy, that's a boomer," and there it was. That's how it started. So one other notable thing that is kind of near and dear to the fellow trustees of the Beechwood Educational Foundation is that Brother Fettig also served as honorary co-chairman of the Beechwood Second Century campaign back in 2014, which is, as many of you know, led to the creation of the new chapter house for Zeta Brothers at 431 Woodlawn, and also led the transition from the older chapter house at 631 East Third to the new location. And Brother Fettig, as we wrap things up, just kind of share with the rest of the brothers, kind of your thoughts on what compelled you to want to support the Beechwood Educational Foundation.
Well, David, I would say the benefits that I and really all the Zeta brothers that I still am involved with, that we received by being in the house and getting to know each other in the formative college days. And everybody's had their own version of success, and as we get to a certain point in time, we all have the philosophy of giving back, and either giving back or paying forward for future success, however you want to look
Hmm.
at it. Zeta, we a few years ago had the 150 year um, anniversary of the establishing the Zeta chapter. And
Hmm.
as we thought about it, it's been, when we were there, or my era was there, it was about 100 years old, a little over 100 years
Hmm.
old. And so the way I and many others look at it is, for 100 years, I don't know who, somebody over long periods of time supported everything that we had at the time that I benefited from. And we kind of all felt it was our time to be able to support an organization which has been so much to us, so that people 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now benefit from what we've done. And in doing so, we hope they do the same. And
Hmm.
that's how we thought about it when our era was played a big role in the new house, and that was a once in a lifetime thing. We also really appreciate what the BEF is doing. We talked about kind of our era, the folks in the Dick to the Dog golf tournament. The Big Dog helped set up a couple of scholarships for brothers who have passed,
Yeah.
and one is Mark Lash Leon, his nickname, and the other is Brock Gordon. Crocker was his nickname, and we were able to establish a scholarship based on the attributes and values of those individuals and what they
Hmm.
meant to the house, and the house awards that to undergraduates who exhibit those characteristics and values today in the house. So their legacy lives on through
Yeah.
the BEF. And so, look, it's um, the last several years, the brothers in the house have gone through COVID. They continue to excel at what they do. They've done it in a more difficult environment than we've seen in a long time, with
Hmm.
everything that's going on in the world. And they raised the bar. They set the standard higher and higher, and that gives us all great pride in doing so. And if we can help in a small way through the supporting the BEF, it's something we feel very good about doing.
Yeah, yeah, and I can tell you, we had the distinct pleasure as trustees to award the inaugural Brock Crocker and Leon Lesh Memorial Scholarships at Pig Dinner this past February, and it was a very special event, and the undergraduate recipients were extremely appreciative of the generosity that you and the Dick the Dog group, as well as the Big Dogs, have done to establish those scholarships, because those will be everlasting, and we will continue to recognize people that exhibit Brother Leon and Brother Crocker's characteristics and love of Zeta Chapter in the years to come. So again, thanks again, Boomer, for joining us this afternoon. For those of you who are interested in connecting with Brother Fettig, we will post his email address and his contact information on the website, as well as you'll be able to watch this video interview as well. So again, thanks so much, Brother Fettig. Not for college days alone, to be sure. Have an enjoyable trip to Scotland with your 3 Fiji brothers, and have a great summer.
Thank you, David. Thank you very
All
much, everyone.
right.